He searched everywhere for the woman in the silver mask, only to fall in love with her the moment he stopped looking. This is the love story we've been waiting for. Benedict Bridgerton and Sophie Baek, a gentleman and a maid, two people from completely different worlds who find each other against all odds. From a magical dance at a masquerade ball to the most devastating proposal in Bridgerton history. This is a love story about impossible choices, forbidden romance, and what happens when you fall for someone you can never have. Benedict Bridgerton is drowning, not literally, but emotionally. His art feels meaningless. His mother is pressuring him to marry, and he's attending yet another tedious society event. And then he sees her. A woman in a silver mask stands across the ballroom. She's ethereal, mysterious, utterly captivating. When their eyes meet, something shifts. When Benedict asks her to dance, she accepts with a grace that takes his breath away. They dance, and the world disappears. She's intelligent and challenges him intellectually. She speaks French, quotes philosophy, but more than that, she sees him. Not Benedict Bridgerton, second son of a viscountess, just Benedict, the man beneath all the expectations. There's an instant understanding between them that Benedict has never experienced. When they step outside under the stars, they share a kiss that changes everything. It's passionate, tender, and earth-shattering. Benedict is completely smitten. This woman has awakened something in him he didn't know existed. She makes him feel alive again. For the first time in years, Benedict knows exactly what he wants. But before he can ask her name, she disappears into the night like Cinderella fleeing the ball. All Benedict has left is a single silver glove and an obsession that will consume him. The woman Benedict is desperately searching for is Sophie Baek, and her reality couldn't be further from that magical fantasy. Her father was alive, he loved her deeply, but he never married her mother. Her mother was a maid who became his mistress, and when both her parents died, Sophie was left with nothing. Sophie's stepmother, Araminta, is as cruel as any fairy tale villain. She forces Sophie to work as a servant in her own father's house. Sophie cleans the floors where she should have been raised as a daughter. She wears rags, while her stepsisters wear silk. That night at the masquerade ball was Sophie's one chance at freedom. Her father's old valet helped her sneak out, and for one night, Sophie got to pretend she belonged in high society. She got to dance with a gentleman who looked at her like she mattered. But Sophie knows the truth. She's a maid, not a lady. The class divide between them, it cannot be crossed. When Benedict kissed her under those stars, Sophie knew she had to run, because staying would only lead to heartbreak. Benedict becomes obsessed with finding his lady in silver. He searches everywhere, refuses to give up. His mother vies to help. His sister Eloise joins the search. But the mysterious woman seems to have vanished. Little does Benedict know, the woman is just across town, scrubbing floors. Sophie's life gets worse when Araminta discovers that Sophie attended the ball. In rage and jealousy, Araminta fires Sophie and blacklists Sophie from every respectable household in Mayfair. She ensures that no one will ever hire Sophie Baek again. It's calculated, cruel revenge, and Sophie is left with nothing. Desperate, Sophie takes a position at a countryside estate party, and fate has a twisted sense of humor, because Benedict is also there. When a male guest gets aggressive with Sophie, Benedict steps in. He punches the man and defends her honor without hesitation. Benedict doesn't recognize her, Without her mask and gown, Sophie is just another servant. But he's drawn to her nonetheless. There's something familiar he can't quite place. Then Benedict gets injured, Sophie gets fired, and as she's escorted away, Sophie's heart breaks. He was right there, and he didn't know her. After the party, Benedict and Sophie end up traveling to London together. When a rainstorm makes the roads dangerous, Benedict detours to his countryside cottage. Except it's a massive estate he adorably calls my cottage. That night, Benedict's injury becomes infected. His fever spikes dangerously. Sophie finds him delirious, his wound bleeding. Without hesitation, she tends to him, sitting by his bedside all night. In his fever, Benedict begs her to kiss him, thinking she's the lady in silver. Sophie's heart shatters because he's right, but he doesn't know it. She saves his life that night. The next morning, the caretaker, Mrs. Crabtree, arrives and insists Benedict rest for days. She also insists Sophie be treated as a guest. For the first time in years, Sophie experiences respect and kindness. Over those days at my cottage, Benedict and Sophie fall in love. Not instant infatuation, but something deeper. Real friendship and growing affection. Benedict teaches Sophie how to have fun again. They fly a kite together, laughing through the fields. They talk for hours about art and dreams. When Sophie picks up a French book, Benedict asks her to teach him. The lesson becomes charged with tension as they move closer and closer. Then Sophie stumbles upon Benedict swimming in the lake. The conversation that follows is the most sexually charged of the season. They banter and tease, moving closer with each exchange, pulled together by an invisible force. When Benedict jokes that it's okay if she was noticing him, Sophie blurts out, "I cannot help but notice you." And then they're kissing, desperate, passionate, perfect. But reality crashes in when Mrs. Crabtree reminds them of society's rules. If anyone found out, Sophie would be ruined. Benedict would face minor scandal. Sophie would lose everything. Benedict apologizes. He tells her he regrets the kiss. Those words break Sophie's heart. It's time to return to London. As they leave, both take long looks back at the only place where they were allowed to just be Benedict and Sophie. Benedict finds Sophie a position at Bridgerton House. When he tells Violet that Sophie saved his life, she hires her immediately. Sophie falls in love with this job. The Bridgertons are kind, the servants welcoming, except for one problem. Benedict is everywhere, and the attraction hasn't faded. They keep running into each other. Every encounter charged with tension, fingers touching, eyes meeting across rooms, moments where they're inches apart and the air crackles. Benedict tries to move on. He searches for the lady in silver again, meeting with Miss Hollis, who fits the description. When Sophie walks in to serve tea, she sees Benedict courting another woman. In her shock, she accidentally pours scalding tea on his hand. Later, Miss Hollis reveals she was never at the masquerade. But the damage is done. Sophie realizes she can't keep doing this. She can't keep imagining impossible possibilities. In a heartbreaking scene, Sophie confronts Benedict. She begs him to leave her alone. He's everywhere she turns, filling her head with impossible dreams. He's a gentleman. She's a maid. He needs to let her go, let her have this job, something stable for once. Benedict agrees. He'll stay away from Bridgerton House. Sophie gets what she wanted. Neither looks remotely happy. For a few days, Sophie tries to move on. Benedict stays away. She focuses on work. The servants invite her to the tavern, and Sophie agrees. Maybe she can build a real life. But Benedict can't let her go. He's been talking to his mother about reality versus fantasy. And it hits him. Sophie is real. The connection is real. He's spent weeks chasing a fantasy from one perfect night. But Sophie is right here. He's been an idiot. Sophie forgets her coin purse and turns back. That's when fate intervenes. Benedict and Sophie meet on the servants' staircase. They stop, facing each other in dim candlelight. Neither says a word. They crash together like waves. Benedict lifts Sophie against the wall. What happens next is so passionate, so intense, it cannot be described. This is Bridgerton showing exactly what they can do with intimacy and romance. When it's over and they are both breathless, still pressed together in the darkness of the stairwell, Benedict makes his declaration. She consumes him. Benedict asks the question, "Be my mistress." The words hang like a death sentence. Sophie's face goes through 1,000 emotions: shock, hurt, devastation, heartbreak. This is the worst thing Benedict could have asked. He's asking Sophie to become exactly what her mother was: a mistress, a woman with no status, no security, no future. A woman whose children will be illegitimate, just like Sophie is. She leaves Benedict alone on the staircase, confused and heartbroken, with no idea what he's done wrong. This is where part 1 ends. Benedict finally found the woman he's been looking for, fell completely in love with her, and made the worst possible proposal. Sophie has to choose between her heart and her survival. And we have to wait until part 2 drops on February 26th to find out what happens next. This is the love story of two people who were never meant to meet and fell anyway.